With all the recent updates, Jake Paul now has a high chance of actually winning against Mike Tyson. Now, you might have heard that this fight is now a professionally sanctioned fight, which is kind of absurd, but what does this actually mean? Basically, this fight will count on both fighters, or rather fighter, records as an actual career fight instead of an amateur fight or an entertainment fight. This also means that both fighters need to prioritize knocking each other out in order to actually win, as opposed to an amateur fight or exhibition fight, which is mostly about scoring points. It's pretty clear that Jake Paul is in it for the money and to brag about how he fought Mike Tyson. But this guy doesn't even deserve to be categorized as a pro fight with the legend himself. There are also many misconceptions about the fight, like how they would be wearing headgear, but Mike Tyson exposed this claim.
There's been a lot of rumors out there about the fight. You're going to be wearing headgear. Any truth in any of that?
No, not true at all. Not true.
Another misconception of the fight is that both fighters will be wearing around 10-ounce gloves, which basically means there will be very limited protection for the knuckles. However, this was debunked by Jake Paul, as one of his tweets stated that they will be wearing 14-ounce gloves. But Jake Paul has a chance to win against Mike Tyson, not only because of his age obviously, but also because Mike Tyson has already had 50 fights and tons of training that involves hard sparring. I don't really care how much neck training you do, all these hits to the head must make him easier to be knocked out. But the biggest reason on why Jake Paul might win will all make sense at the end. The battle of age versus experience has already been done before, well sort of, if you count the 15-year difference between two fighters. I'm talking about the Evander Holyfield versus Vitor Belfort fight. Evander Holyfield actually fought Mike Tyson once before and he got his ear bitten off. Yeah, that guy. Evander did an exhibition boxing match with a guy who specialized in MMA who was 15 years younger than him. Vitor whooped Evander Holyfield because he wasn't the same anymore. I'm talking about his speed specifically. Although Mike Tyson still might have his power, which could be good enough for a guy like Jake Paul. Also, testosterone for men begins to decline 1% each year after 30, and since Mike Tyson is already 57 years old, that means he has lost around 30% of his initial testosterone. Also, when you get older and when you take shrooms like Mike Tyson has done multiple times before, your reaction time starts to decline, and since Mike Tyson uses a peekaboo style, it would be much harder for him to slip a punch and try and close the distance with this slower reaction time disadvantage. But by far one of the biggest reasons on why Mike Tyson might lose against Jake Paul is because Jake Paul might take and probably is taking steroids for the fight. I mean, many people have already speculated and called him out for steroid use, like Tyron Woodley.
I asked him on that show, I said, are you taking PEDs? Are you taking steroids? And he froze. He said, oh, we taking a drug test. We did not take a drug test. If you think I'm lying, go check the thing called Google.
Which he said on a podcast in front of Jake. He called him out specifically because there was a certain photo that actually emerged online exposing Jake Paul's face with tons of acne on one of his podcasts. The second biggest reason, although unlikely to occur, is that this fight might be rigged. But there isn't much evidence other than popular figures in the fight space, like Joe Rogan, making claims on it being rigged. But although this match might not be rigged, both fighters might agree to go easy on each other beforehand, or in other words, not give it their all in every punch. But be sure to leave fans disappointed. And apparently there was a tweet from Jake Paul that if you wanted a seat close to the ring, it would actually cost you around $500.
Vivid Seats is among the hottest sports tickets ever at AT&T Stadium, with fans expected to travel more than 500 miles to catch the fight, each paying an average of about $500 per.
Overall, Jake Paul has a high chance of winning this fight, if these accusations turn out to be true. But even if they aren't, his age and the fact that he's already been consistently training like an athlete in boxing before this fight has already put him in a major advantage as an athlete overall.